All right, I have a new phone, so I'm gonna see how it works, and I'm gonna practice looking in the camera too. Okay, so there's a lot happening, and every night I'm thinking about like what I need to share next, and so um, a lot of these stories are really, for the First Nations people, but of course they're for everybody. But I realize now that that's a really important part because First Nations people are very much connected to these ruins and all their legends. And so this is another vision that I had. And so this vision hit me when I was in the camper in the exact same place as the count with the eagle. Okay? And so what I'm sharing this because I'm thinking about, the combination of things that trigger these type of information to come. So I was reading a report that was commissioned by the federal government not too long ago, and about the suicide crisis amongst the First Nations people, with the youth and just the desperate sadness. And I was reading this document, and it, it just, it was so intense. I was just bawling. It just, yeah. And so I was really, really, really feeling my emotions and my sadness, and I was really thinking about, what can we do to heal this extreme tragedy. And so then I was really feeling my emotions. I was feeling my love, all of it. It was an intense. I was feeling emotional intensity, which I think has to do with the energy, okay? Like the free something about our emotions, I think, is what synchronizes us with the life force, which is connected through the planet. I'm quite sure about this now. And so what happened is I stood up, and I was really feeling this intense emotion, and I had a vision come in, poof, really fast. And so, and it came so fast, I had to sit down. It kind of knocked me in my back in my chair. And then I had to look at it again, like rewind it and watch it slow in my mind, in my memory. Okay, so what the vision was is all of a sudden I could see this young teenage girl, Indigenous girl, maybe 14, and she had cut her hair. She had a bob, and she had dyed her hair, and it was sort of like a rusty orange color, and she was hanging her head like this, and she was sitting on the floor, and her hands were like beside her, and she was in an absolute state of despair and sadness. And then I could see there was like the white floor tile. So, like a lot of the flooring in the Northwest Territories and the government houses and everything, they're these square white tiles. And that's where she was sitting. And then I started being pulled out, and I could see she was sitting on the floor in the kitchen. And then I realized she was thinking of cutting herself or killing herself. And she was just in so much pain, emotional sadness. And then I was being slowly pulled back. And when I got back, I seen that there was this wisp smoke coming off of her, okay? And it was like this gray, misty smoke coming off of her. And then I kept being gradually pulled up, up, up. And then I was over the town where she lived. And it looked like a northern town, like a small settlement. I don't recognize the town. And then I seen from every house, there was this different density of color of this gray smoke. Some of it was really dark, some of it was light. Okay, and then as it come up from the houses, all that smoke joined into one gray smoke, and it kept going up. And then I was brought out farther, and then I could see all the towns, same, this black smoke, this gray smoke. And then I was brought like out into outer space. And I could see the misery, suffering, pain, anguish, every yeah, all the negative emotions were represented by this smoke. And it was coming off of the entire earth, all the suffering. But then what happened is above the earth, there was this thin, but, well, thin in proportion, immense gray cloud that looked very similar to like when you look through the NASA Space Telescope at another galaxy, okay, and like a pinwheel, kind of like how the Milky Way, they think the Milky Way, okay, so what it was a storm that had these pinwheel arms, and it contained the sum total of all the suffering from history. And it was so immense that it was turning very slow, but it had such inertia. Okay, and this black smoke was going right into the center of that cloud, and it was feeding it. And because it was feeding it, it kept turning, but it was just turning really slow. And it was so big. And then what happened is then I'm on the edge of this immense circular storm, spiritual misery, cloud of misery. And then I see I'm there, but then there's this little spark of light that's connected to me. And then my attention is taken all around the peripheral of this immense cloud that's just turning. There are these little sparks of light all the way around. Okay? And then I can see the sparks of light are going poof, poof, poof. And they're inundating that cloud. And wherever they are, it would disperse. It would clear. But the magnitude of this thing was so gigantic. And so then what happened is I was there, my consciousness was observing this. All of a sudden I seen the little sparks that were on the outside began to go to the center, all of them, and there was this just like in chemistry, all these sparks of light started going together, and then it went, and there was this catalytic merging of this light, all these sparks of light. Wow. And it was just like that light I saw with the giant when I'm holding it in my hand. And it just went, and this, oh my goodness, the most beautiful, ball of light. And now what was important, this cloud, it was really immense, okay? Like broad, depth and what, but it was shallow. It had a shallowness to it. And when that ball of light formed, it had depth. It was higher than the storm and deeper than the storm. And it was immense. And it was right at the point where all that misery from the current time from Earth was feeding it. And then I was brought over top. And then I saw from this beautiful ball of light, arms of light began to grow in the pinwheel. So where the dark arms were, there was a gap, and then the arms of light were growing inside of it. Wow. That's what's coming, I think. Our light, when we come together in united in our purpose. And that was so intense. I told a few people, but I literally like it affected me for 2 days. Like it was so emotionally intense. And I've told that story a few times now too. And so now I'm realizing these ruins are connected to these, all these dreams and everything. And like I said, I am 100% certain I'm not the only person who's having these experiences. Okay? That's important. And so I'm sharing these stories so that other people around will realize this is information that is being given to us through spirit to help us at this dire time. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's amazing. And we're on. This is great. Thank you, friends. I have a few more I'm going to tell. Bye bye.